Welcome to this video. Today, you're about to uncover the one habit that distinguishes the strong from the weak, the wise from the confused, and the unstoppable from the average. This isn't just another motivational video. This is your wake-up call. It's a system, a warning, a strategy, a map. Every day you drift through life distracted by the noise. You watch others rise while you remain stuck. And every day you avoid the one thing that could change it all: educating yourself. Let me be clear. Your true enemy isn't poverty, failure, or fear. It's ignorance. Not knowing how money works, not knowing how people manipulate, not knowing how to master your anger, time, thoughts, or pain. If you refuse to educate yourself, life will teach you. Through pain, debt, regret, rejection. You'll lose jobs, relationships, and respect. Why? Because you stopped growing. But here's the truth. Spending just 1 hour a day on self-education can make you more powerful than 99% of people who stop learning once they leave school. In this video, I will guide you, step by step, on how to build this daily habit. I'll show you what to learn, how to learn, and when to learn, and how this simple change will alter your future forever. And yes, this video will also improve your English. The more you listen, the more your brain absorbs powerful ideas and powerful English together. This is not just education. It's transformation. So let's begin with the brutal truth. If you don't educate yourself, life will. Let's be honest. Most people stop learning after school. That's why their lives never change. They go through school, memorize, pass exams, forget it all, and then hope for a good job, a good life, and a bright future. But they forgot something. School may give you a degree, but only self-education grants freedom. The world is changing rapidly. New technologies, new businesses, new problems. Yet most people still live with outdated knowledge, old thinking, and worn-out habits. They don't know how money works. They don't know how to sell. They don't know how to say no. They don't know how to manage their emotions. They don't know how to lead, build, or survive. So what happens? Life teaches them, but not with books. Life teaches with pain. You didn't learn about money, now you're in debt. You didn't learn about toxic people, now you're broken inside. You didn't learn how to build a career, now you're 35, stuck, begging for opportunities. You didn't learn how to think for yourself. Now you follow the crowd, and the crowd is going nowhere. And the scariest part, you think it's normal. But let me ask you this. Why are the top 1% always reading, learning, and investing in knowledge? Why are CEOs still studying at 50? Why do billionaires read 3 to 4 hours a day? Because they know that daily education isn't a luxury, it's survival. The poor spend hours on entertainment. The rich spend hours on education. The average person scrolls aimlessly. The future leader studies. If you don't educate yourself, someone else will control you. Your boss, your debt, your fear, your mistakes. This isn't motivation. This is your only chance to escape the trap. Learn daily or remain weak forever. That's the brutal truth about why daily education builds power, respect, and control. Have you ever met someone who speaks with calm confidence, never panicking, always finding a solution? Someone who commands respect, who people follow? They aren't lucky. They educate themselves daily. Here's what happens when you learn. Every day, you get stronger. Do you feel insecure, lost, or scared? It's because you feel unprepared. But the more you learn, the stronger you become. You learn how to solve problems, handle stress, take action, and stay focused when others give up. Confidence doesn't come from talking, it comes from knowing. When you educate yourself daily, your vocabulary grows. You think more clearly. You express better ideas. You become the person in the room that others want to listen to because you bring value. You're not loud, you're sharp. People don't respect noise, they respect clarity, and clarity comes from daily education. You make smarter decisions. Imagine two people facing the same problem. One has studied the topic, read books, and learned strategies. The other is guessing. Who wins? Always the one who's educated. Life is a game of decisions, and the more you know, the better you play. You attract opportunities. People want to work with sharp people. People want to help those who are serious. People follow those who think clearly. Daily education gives you that power. It makes you different. It makes you valuable. While others waste time gossiping, you'll be talking about growth. You feel in control. Daily learning gives you control over your time, mind, energy, emotions, and future. Because now you're not reacting to life, you're building it. You're not waiting for help, you're helping yourself. And that control, power, and respect come from one place: daily education. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs people who think clearly, who build, lead, and stay strong. And it all begins with what you learn every single day. Because 1 hour of education a day is more powerful than 10 hours of blind hard work. If you start today, in 1 year, you won't even recognize yourself. This is your chance. Take it. Section 1. Financial Education. Master how to earn, protect, and grow your money. Let's confront the harsh reality most people avoid. You can be kind, honest, and a good person, but if you don't understand money, the world will treat you as if you don't matter. Read that again. In school, they taught you algebra, but never how to pay taxes. They made you memorize dates in history, but never taught you how to invest, negotiate, or safeguard your wealth. This is why so many work their entire lives and still feel broke. Feeling stuck or afraid? Here's a rule that could change everything. If you don't study money, you'll always work for someone who does. It's tough to hear, but it can save you. What does financial education really mean? It means understanding how money moves. It means learning how to earn through jobs, skills, business, and investments. It's about saving, planning, budgeting, and most importantly, growing your wealth, multiplying it. Now, listen closely. This isn't about becoming a billionaire. This is about something far more powerful: becoming free. Free from fear, free from dependence, free from begging. When you understand money, you stop panicking, you plan, you build, and you rise. Here's the comparison. Two people both earning the same salary. Person A spends their weekends on unnecessary things, never learns how to invest, avoids reading about money, and hopes for a better future. Person B spends just 20 minutes a day reading about money. They learn how to invest, avoid debt, and build additional income streams. In 5 years, they're not just surviving, they're free. Same income, different future. Why? One chose education, the other chose entertainment. Which one are you becoming? Learn how the wealthy think about money versus how the poor think about it. Learn what assets are, how they generate wealth while you sleep. Learn the distinction between income and wealth. Learn to budget, track money, and start side hustles. No one is coming to save you. Luck is not a financial plan. You must train your mind like a weapon. In this world, you'll either be educated about money or controlled by those who are. 1 hour a day, that's all it takes. Read, watch, learn. In 365 days, your financial life will never be the same. Section 2. Skill education. Learn what makes you valuable. Here's the second life-changing truth. You don't get paid for your time, you get paid for your value. So how do you become valuable? By developing real skills that solve real problems. In the real world, most people are struggling financially not because they're lazy, but because they never took the time to develop a skill the world needs. You can be motivated and positive, but without a marketable skill, you will always struggle. That's why skill education must become your daily priority. Every day, ask yourself, what can I do today that I couldn't do yesterday? What skill can I improve that will make me more valuable, more needed, more useful? Skills are the new currency. Imagine two people apply for the same opportunity. One says, "I've worked hard, I'm loyal, I deserve a chance." The other says, "Here's what I can build, design, edit, solve, or sell for you." Who do you think gets chosen? The one with the skill, not the story, not the wish, the skill. These are skills you can start learning today for free via YouTube, books, or mentors. Copywriting, writing words that sell. Video editing for YouTubers, businesses, content creators. Sales, the most powerful skill in business and life. Public speaking, to earn trust and followership. Digital marketing, ads, email funnels, SEO. Freelancing, finding clients and offering services. Graphic design, creating branding, ads, content. Web development, building websites, landing pages, and more. Leadership and management, so you can build teams, not just work for them. Start small. Learn for 30 minutes a day, practice for 30 minutes more. In 90 days, you'll be more valuable than most people around you. Most people fail because they want money without developing skills. They want success without learning. They put things off day after day, and that's why they stay stuck. But not you. If you're broke, don't cry. Learn. If you're confused, don't scroll. Learn. If you feel lost, don't wait. Learn. Educate yourself daily. Skills are your way out of survival mode, because when you become valuable, nobody can ignore you. Section 3. Mindset Education. Master the art of thinking powerfully and clearly. Let's get real. Some people work 14 hours a day and remain stuck, while others work just 4 hours and grow faster. Why? Because of one unseen force, their mindset. Your mindset is your mental operating system. It's the filter you use to perceive the world. Two people can face the exact same problem. One says, "Why is this happening to me?" The other asks, "What can I learn from this?" Same problem, different mindset, different future. Most people stay average because they never educate themselves on how to think. They react emotionally, mimic others, complain, and give up after one failure. They need motivation every day because they never trained their minds to be strong. This is why mindset education must become a daily habit. Imagine your mind is a battlefield. Every day you face doubt, fear, laziness, distraction, anxiety, comparison, guilt, and regret. Have you trained your mind to win these battles? If not, these battles will defeat you every time. This is why people lose discipline, say, "I'll start tomorrow," and feel uneasy even when everything seems fine. Their minds are untrained. You could have the best opportunities in the world, but with the wrong mindset, you'll sabotage them all. How do you learn from mindset growth daily? How do you control your thoughts, build mental strength and resilience, focus in a distracted world? How do you think long-term instead of emotionally? Build habits that reshape your identity. Stop overthinking and fearing failure. Stay calm in chaos. Here's how. Read 10 pages from mindset books daily. The Mountain is You, Atomic Habits, etc. Watch one video a day on mental strength, David Goggins, Jocko Willink, or Navy SEAL mindset. Journal your thoughts. What am I thinking today? Is this helping or hurting me? Observe powerful people, not just what they say, but how they think under pressure. Life isn't about what happens to you, it's about how you respond to it. That's mindset. The wrong mindset will keep you poor, jealous, reactive, lazy, and lost. The right mindset will make you a warrior, even in silence. Mindset isn't built through YouTube motivation. It comes from daily education, reflection, and sharpening. Once you train your body, train your mind daily, and you'll become unstoppable. Section 4. Emotional Education. Master control over yourself in a chaotic world. Here's a harsh truth. Most people lose everything, not because they lack talent, but because they never learned how to manage their emotions. They destroy relationships, quit jobs, make terrible decisions, get angry at the wrong time, chase validation, and stay stuck in pain for years, all because they never studied themselves. And the worst part? They think it's normal. I'm just an emotional person. I can't help how I feel. It's just who I am. No, that's who you've been trained to be. But now you can retrain yourself. Emotional education is the daily practice of learning how to stay calm when others lose control. It's about processing emotions without exploding. It's about not letting fear stop you or sadness destroy you. Emotional education is not soft, it's life-critical. If you don't control your emotions will control your life. Imagine working hard on a project. Someone criticizes you. If you're emotionally untrained, you'll break down, fight, overreact, quit, and doubt yourself for weeks. But if you're emotionally strong, you'll breathe, reflect, grow, and move forward. Same situation, different response, different future. What sets you off and why? Are childhood patterns still controlling you? How do you face fear of rejection, shame, guilt, and overthinking? Emotional independence is the key. Start journaling when you feel upset. What emotion is this? Where is it from? Watch one video per day on emotional mastery. Practice the pause. Before reacting, pause. Educate yourself on therapy, healing, self-respect, and reflection. Am I acting from pain or power? Most people are slaves to their emotions, but education gives you the freedom to handle anger, sadness, jealousy, and fear. When you stop making emotional decisions, you start making wise ones, and those decisions shape your destiny. So don't just work on your goals, work on your soul every single day. Section 5. Market Education. Learn what the world is willing to pay for. Here's a game-changing truth. You don't get paid for what you love, you get paid for what people need. Most people make the mistake of focusing only on what they want to do, but they never stop to ask, what is the market demanding right now? What are people struggling with? What problems are businesses solving? What are people willing to pay for? If you ignore the market will ignore you. You can be talented and hardworking, but if you're offering something nobody wants, you'll stay broke. Why do so many hardworking people stay poor? Because they never studied the market. They keep doing what they've always done, even as the world changes. And the world has changed. People shop online. Businesses want digital solutions. Jobs are remote. AI is replacing tedious tasks. Creators are building million-dollar brands from their phone. If you're not watching the market, you're falling behind even while working hard. There was once a man who fixed old TVs for 20 years. He had a solid business, but as the market shifted, he refused to adapt. He kept waiting for customers who never came back. The lesson? The market doesn't care what you're comfortable with. It rewards those who adapt. So what should you educate yourself about daily? What products or services are people paying for right now? What industries are growing fast? AI, health, content creation, coaching, e-commerce. What jobs are in demand on freelancing platforms? Look at trending services on Fiverr, Upwork, LinkedIn, and observe the content that's going viral. Study business newsletters and startup news. You can be the best singer in the world, but if no one is hiring singers, you must adapt. You can love fixing typewriters, but if the world has moved on, you must move too. The good news is, you don't need to change who you are, you just need to match your value to the market. Stop shouting into a dead room. Start listening. Start observing. Start adapting. Study the market every single day, because those who understand it get paid by it. Section 6. Digital Education. Master the tools of tomorrow before they replace you. Let's face the hard truth. We've moved beyond the information age. We're now in the automation age. If you're not learning how to use digital tools, platforms, and systems, you're already on the path to being left behind. Soon you'll be replaced, ignored, and irrelevant. Being bad with technology isn't a quirk anymore, it's a liability. Every business is going digital. Every creator is using AI. Every freelancer is automating. Industries are changing rapidly. Even fields like medicine, law, education, and entertainment are evolving with technology. The person who says, "I'm not a tech person," will soon be saying, "I'm sorry, I'm no longer needed." Take the example of a woman who ran a beauty salon for 15 years. She provided great service, had loyal clients, and a prime location. But when lockdowns hit, everything shut down. Bills kept coming in, but she didn't know how to build a website, take online bookings, or even post effectively on Instagram. She said, "I'm old school," but the world moved on. Meanwhile, a younger competitor created a YouTube channel, posted tutorials, took online bookings, and doubled her income without leaving home. The first woman had more talent, but the second woman had something more valuable: digital education. That's the difference between survival and success. What should you educate yourself about daily? How to use tools like Canva, ChatGPT, Notion, Google Drive, and Zoom. How to create a digital presence, even if it's just a LinkedIn profile, Instagram, or website. How to use AI tools to boost productivity, writing, design, and learning. How to record a video, design a thumbnail, or post on social media. How online systems work, e-commerce funnels, digital sales. How to automate repetitive tasks. How to collaborate online with others. Dedicate 30 minutes a day to learning one new digital tool. Watch tutorials on YouTube about AI apps and platforms. Practice by creating something, a blog, digital poster, or simple website. Apply digital tools to your job or business. Even small steps matter. Build your tech confidence one day at a time. The future doesn't belong to the strongest, it belongs to the digitally smart. You don't need to be a programmer or tech genius, but you do need to understand how the world works today. The world is moving online. You must move with it or be replaced by those who did. So ask yourself, what new tool did I learn today? How am I becoming more future-ready every single day? If your answer is nothing, start today. Because in this digital world, daily digital education isn't optional. It's your shield, your weapon, your future. Section 7. Self-awareness education. Master the art of knowing who you truly are. Let's begin with the deepest truth that no school, parent, or boss has ever told you. You will never win in life if you don't know who you are. Most people know their blood type, favorite food, and social media passwords, but they don't know what triggers their anger, why they sabotage their own success, what makes them insecure, what kind of people destroy their peace, what they truly want out of life. That's why most people live like passengers, not drivers. They let others decide what they should study, what job they should take, who they should marry, what they should believe, and when they should be happy. They live based on expectations, not self-awareness. Imagine a man who kept changing jobs. He jumped between 6 companies in 3 years, blaming the team, the boss, the environment. But one day he stopped and asked, "What if the real problem is something inside me?" He began journaling, reflecting on his reactions, fears, and patterns. He realized that he wasn't angry at work, he was angry at himself for not allowing himself to chase his dreams. That one question changed everything. He didn't need a new job, he needed a new awareness. What should you educate yourself about daily? Why do I react the way I do? What's my biggest fear and where did it come from? What patterns do I repeat in relationships, money, or work? What part of me am I ignoring, hiding, or pretending doesn't exist? What gives me true energy and what drains me? Start by writing one honest paragraph about how you felt today and why. Ask yourself, was that the real me or a scared version of me? Watch videos on self-discovery, emotional wounds, and childhood patterns. Study human behavior books like The Untethered Soul and The Courage to be Disliked. Sit in silence for 5 minutes and ask, what am I running from? You can't escape a prison if you don't know you're in one. Most people are trapped inside themselves. They try to fix the outside world, but the real battle is inside. Unless you educate yourself about who you truly are, you'll keep fighting the wrong battles, choosing the wrong partners, saying yes when you should say no, and wasting years doing what looks right but feels wrong. The most powerful education isn't about the world, it's about yourself. Once you know who you are, you stop chasing everything you're not. Section 8. Street Education. Learn how the real world works. Now, let's talk about the hardest and most dangerous truth. Books teach you the rules, but only the streets teach you the game. You can have degrees and be book smart, but if you don't understand how real people move, you'll keep getting betrayed, used, lied to, manipulated, and blindsided. The real world isn't a classroom, it's a battlefield. And here's what school never taught you. People lie. People play games. People say one thing and mean another. People pretend to care until you stop being useful. This isn't negativity, this is survival intelligence. For example, a young man got his first job. He worked hard, trusted everyone, and believed the office was like a family. 6 months later, his idea was stolen, his credit was taken, and his best friend used him to climb up the ladder. He broke down, not because he was weak, but because he was uneducated about street rules, rules of power, status, and trust. After that, he stopped being naive. He studied people, stopped giving access to everyone, and learned how to move smart, not just kind. That version of him was unshakable. What should you educate yourself about daily? How to read people's intentions, not just their words. How to spot manipulation, guilt-tripping, and fake praise. How to negotiate without emotion. How to build boundaries with charm, not fear. How to sense when something feels off. How to say no without explanation. How to trust slowly, observe deeply, and move silently. Read books like 48 Laws of Power, The Art of War, No More Mr. Nice Guy. Watch real-life interviews of top negotiators, ex-cons, and business sharks. Study body language, it speaks louder than words. Reflect on your daily interactions. What did I miss today? Study betrayal, not to become bitter, but to become wise. You can read all the books in the world and sound smart, but when you combine that knowledge with street education, you become powerful. The world respects those who understand how things really work, so don't just be kind, be aware. Don't just be loyal, be smart. Don't just believe words, study patterns. This world is full of actors, and if you don't know the script, you'll keep playing the fool in someone else's movie. Street education is your daily armor. Put it on and never take it off. Section 9. Foundation Education. Master what life demands, but school never taught. Let's be honest. School taught you many things, but most of it never prepared you for the real world. They taught you how to memorize definitions, follow orders, write essays, and fear failure. But they never taught you how to stay calm under pressure, build habits that shape your future, manage your time, emotions, or energy, make powerful decisions, or deal with loss, failure, betrayal, and heartbreak. Now, you're in a world that demands all of these things, and no one prepared you. That's why foundation education is your responsibility. It's time to train for life, not just exams. Take the story of a student who got straight A's in school. He was at the top of his class, obedient, polite, the golden child. But when life hit, his first breakup, rejection, being broke, misunderstood, he crumbled. Why? Because no one had taught him how to handle pain. No one had taught him how to rebuild himself or think independently. He didn't need more formulas. He needed foundation education, the kind that gives you inner strength. What should you educate yourself about every day? How to manage your time with clarity and priorities. How to say no without guilt. How to sit with failure without losing your identity. How to delay gratification because discipline equals freedom. How to take full responsibility for your life. How to choose your friends wisely. How to build a system for your habits, thoughts, and goals. How to stay calm when the world feels chaotic. Reflect on your worst decisions. What led you there? Create a habit tracker and follow it like a religion. Learn one new rule about self-discipline, stoicism, or focus every day. Practice doing hard things, not to suffer, but to grow. Read books like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Can't Hurt Me, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. Watch full summaries of these books after this video. School gave you facts. Life needs strength. If you don't train your inner foundation, you'll build success only to collapse under it. Money won't save you from anxiety. Followers won't save you from self-doubt. Degrees won't save you from emotional chaos. A strong foundation will carry you through storms most people can't survive. Start building your internal strength every day, because if you don't, the world will break you, and it won't feel sorry. Section 10. Problem-solving education. Learn how to be a builder, not a complainer. Now let's talk about one of the most underrated powers in the world, the ability to solve problems. Your future depends on one skill. Can you stay calm, think clearly, and find solutions under pressure? If you can't, you'll always depend on others. You'll panic, freeze, and wait while life keeps throwing punches. But if you become a problem solver, you will be respected, needed, and unstoppable. This isn't about intelligence, it's about training. It's about daily education and learning how to think, adapt, simplify, and act fast. During the pandemic, two people reacted differently. One said, "This is unfair. This is hard. I give up." The other said, "Okay, what can I do from home? Who needs help? How can I serve?" One stayed stuck. The other built a freelance business, learned online sales, and doubled their income. Same crisis, different mindsets. Which one are you becoming? What should you learn daily? How to define a problem clearly. Most people don't. How to break big problems into small actions. How to remove emotion from decision-making. How to think like a builder, not a victim. How to reverse engineer a goal. How to plan under pressure. How to use logic and courage instead of fear and comfort. Solve one small frustration every day instead of ignoring it. Read case studies of people who built something from nothing. Study how engineers, designers, and leaders think. Learn mental models like first principles thinking, second-order thinking, and the 80-20 rule. Practice journaling. What's one problem I faced today? How could I have solved it better? Most people describe problems. Winners solve them. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs people who stay calm when others panic. People who think fast and act smart. The good news is, you don't need a genius brain. You need daily practice of solving, building, and adapting until it becomes who you are. In the end, the complainer stays stuck. The problem solver gets promoted. The problem solver builds companies, becomes the leader, and that leader could be you if you educate yourself daily. Most people waste their lives not because they're weak or stupid, but because they never built the habit of daily self-education. They wait for school, wait for motivation, wait for someone to teach them. But the truth is, no one is coming. You are the teacher. You are the student. You are the university. If you're not growing daily, you're slowly dying. So decide. Will you scroll or will you study? Will you talk or will you transform? Will you watch others grow or will you grow yourself? This world doesn't need more noise. It needs people like you, people who rise, lead, learn, and never stop. And remember, 1 hour a day of education can make you more powerful than 10 years of struggle. Start today. Start now. Start with one page, one video, one moment. Your future is watching. Don't let it down. If this video helped you, don't forget to subscribe, like, share it with someone who needs this message, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another life-changing video on this channel.